And we are live. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Beyond the 90. We've got some phenomenal news. If you've not seen it, you've been hiding under a rock. I mean, Wesley Fofana, and this is kind of, we've heard about this for a while. It's finally come true. Wesley Fofana signing a 5-year deal. Again, he was gone until 2025 with his current deal. Now they've extended to 2027. 5-year deal. Phenomenal. I think this is arguably, I mean, it's been 2 good results, 2 clean sheets, 2 wins, 6 points, and this just puts the icing on the cake this week, doesn't it?
It does. It's been a brilliant week, and Fofana, the fact it's not just like a couple of years extension; it's up to 2027 as well.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And for me, I don't. We're going to get into this in much more detail in a second, but I think that the fact that a lot more players are signing up to long-term contracts shows that the direction that they see the club going in, despite this awful season we're having this year. They
Yeah.
purely they still see this as a club to be at and a club that's going to be pushing forward. Otherwise, you wouldn't be getting players like James Justin, obviously Wesley Fofana today, Ricardo Pereira, all pinning down their long-term futures to Leicester.
That was going to be my next point, but we'll get there. So in terms of Wesley Fofana, again, I think he's the kind of player that epitomizes Leicester City. If we want to build for the future, he was the kind of talisman that we'd have to build this team around. And again, we'll bring up the statistic, what they said in regards to that. I mean, the quote that Leicester City put out and that he said was, "I'm really happy to sign a new contract. This shows the club have given me the confidence, offered me 2027. I'm really happy to be here. It's my club. I love to see it. My club is a massive statement, in my opinion. I love the fans. Really happy to be here. And I think something was continue to press. Here we go. With desire to win more trophies. So it shows you with him that there is the ambition of trying to go far, hopefully in the Europa League and in other competitions, and try to win more trophies. And for me, that was impressive. Fact says, A, it's my club, but B, that I know the ambition is to win trophies, but to come out and say it, I think is amazing as well.
Yeah, I agree, and I always take everything the players in press conferences and contract renewals say with a pinch of salt because they are going to say what the fans want to hear.
Yeah.
But you can tell just by sort of everything when you sort of even like when you just hear him talk and sort of see him, like when you go to ground and actually see him play and sort of the fact that he's just a proper leader and stuff, you can see he's one of those players who could really go on to that next level. And like I hate the phrase generational talent because I think it gets thrown around so much and it's lost all value. But he's the one player in our squad that I say you could genuinely put in that category of generational talent.
Yeah, he's genuine, and the thing is, we've seen this before as well, in terms of we know our transfers are good, and we've seen that, but we've seen it progressively get better and better every single year since the 16 season. Obviously, we had a terrible season then, but you're looking at the likes of, again, players you mentioned. So 2027 for Fofana, Justin, another young talent, potentially go to England and play for them. 2026, Ricardo Pereira has not hit the form that we know he can hit, but 4-year deal for them as well. There was a little bit, and Brendan Rodgers has been speaking more than I'd like about the rebuild. However, this is a great sign in the right direction as well.
It is, and I do feel like we said about a rebuild. These players wouldn't be signing up to this contract if they didn't know something sort of is going to happen, or they've got faith in the fact that like there is going to be investment in the summer. Because like as much as we hate to say it, these players they are that level, but they could go to a much bigger club. But the fact that they see that at Leicester, there's that potential. It makes you think that there has been promises made and there has been signs of ambition of what's to come in the summer.
Yeah, exactly. And the summer, again, will be very interesting. We'll get on some of the players that are linked, and not just linked in terms of they've actually been, there's been some solid journalism done around them as well. Not just we're linked to Rashford, as Ant found out recently on Twitter. And I was here. I hope you do know. Well, amazing news again. What a player signed down again. What a 2027. Really, really good. Considering, again, at the beginning of the year, so at the beginning of the season, there was rumours about him leaving and wanting to play at Real Madrid, and Again, that never materialized. And what we've done as well, if he is going to go, we're going to slap a big price tag on the head. So you're looking at the likes of when we signed Harry Maguire, obviously coming in the news once again, but 80 mil because he signed that contract and now he's going to push on. But Fofana we've definitely upped his wages, but also in that the buyout clause or the clause that we're going to let him go has probably increased quite a lot as well.
It has, and I hate. It's the old thing of protecting the player's value. So yes, he'll be more of a crucial part in terms of his contract at Leicester, in terms of his wages. Like, but also now you're coming into him to buy him out of his contract, you're looking at least 100 million. Like, that's the thing. Like, people laugh about it. It's like he's one of, if not the best young centre backs in world football. You are looking at a huge fee. Now he's on a long-term contract as well. Like, anyone who's going to come in for him is going to have to pay it out of their arse for him.
Yeah, and we're going to have to see what happens again. But from what we can see, is here for at least the short future. And if they are going to come in for him, you're going to have to pay a lot of money. But sorry, my voice is going a little bit. Next one we've got is one that's gone under the radar. Obviously, we mentioned Ricardo and Justin. We'll probably come back to them a little bit later, in a little bit more detail. But Lee Congerton's gone to Atalanta as a general manager. It's Leicester City is the lead scout. Atalanta have come in for him. There's rumors have been happening for a while. He's officially gone now. But overall, what are your thoughts on that, Ant?
Good luck to him. It's been a mixed bag at Leicester. His reputation definitely came to fruition of he'll get some right, but he'll get some horrendously wrong. Celtic fans told us that. Liverpool fans told us that. So, yeah, good luck to him. I'm convinced he's going on a tour around Europe to go to all of the clubs that are supposedly overachieving. Now he's gone to Atalanta to be sort of as an anchor to wave him down. But, yeah, it's good luck to him. He brought us in Fofana. He brought us in some good players. He's also brought in some absolute honkers in terms of Ryan Bennett, Vestergaard, Bennett, Bertrand. So it's been a mix.
So bad you mentioned him twice.
Yeah. So, yeah, good luck to him. I've got nothing against him personally, but I think it's best. It is the bet. It's a good move for us for him to move on.
And we've seen quite a few of them as well. And it could be, again, with him leaving, it could be the sign of the summer rebuild, potentially with the manager. Again, we will have to see about that. But you're looking at like, obviously, Fofana came in under him, Justin and Castagna. Them three, I think the majority of fans would say have worked. And you've got some kind of in the middle. So you've got Daka, Samore, and Lookman. All three of them, in my opinion, they're not in that same category as Fofana and Castagna and Justin, but it's only because they've been there a year. They're going to get better. They're going to get better in time. Daka is numbers. I was looking earlier. I'll bring them up. I'll probably bring them up as well. His numbers this season are as good as Jamie Vardy's, but the problem is, it's what Jamie Vardy brings off the ball that's really important. So again, but then also you've got the likes of you've got the likes of Perez, which again it looks like he's probably going to leave because with Maddison out of the squad, you'd expect Perez to start. He's not getting ahead of Dewsbury Hall, who again think he scored unbelievable with Vestergaard and Bertrand. So you're weighing up that way. Maybe Dennis Pratt thrown in there as well. So it's some really good signings and some really poor signings. So they kind of even out.
They do, but we're a club that can't afford to even out in the transfer window. If we want to be competing, we've got to be thriving in the transfer window, which we have done for large periods before Congerton came in. Mm-hmm. And yes, like with Fofana and Justin being brilliant signings, but we can't afford to do some of the ones like that he has done, such as Vestergaard, Bertrand and Bennett. So it's one of those you're always going to get some signings wrong. Like that is just the reality of football. But the way that
we didn't even mention it, my friend. We've not even mentioned it, but glad you're here, Chris. Thank you for joining.
The way that Chris, you've made me lose my train of thought. No, but the way that we're run, we can't afford to get as many wrong as we did.
Yeah, exactly. So, what we're heating on, the throat's gone, mate. But I understand. But with this kind of news, I was going to try and rest my voice for another day, so it might be a bit of a shorter stream than usual. However, this one was too good to pass up on. The only other one I would go from as well. So again, since we're on this vibe, and Ricardo, I know we've not mentioned it, but Ricardo till 4-year deal, obviously put him a lot of, again, this was all come in the last couple of weeks as well. 2026 he's got his deal in. He's had a rubbish time since his injuries, but now that we've got him in, now we've got him on a long-term deal, it's only going to look positive for us, isn't it?
It is, and before his latest injury of many that he's been picking up recently, he has started to look a lot sharper. So I'm hoping that his rest over the last couple of weeks hasn't been Rodgers being a clown with rushing him back too quickly, and actually like just being like a precautionary thing, because he's very much on his day and before the injury, like we don't need to go on about it. Like
he had a better defensive record than Ndidi.
Yeah, he was up there with Trent in terms of best right backs in Europe before he got injured.
Yeah, and he can be that good, but it's just hopefully. I was listening to Matt Piper on the radio, and he was saying that overall, when you get back from these injuries, as Matt Piper had loads of them through his career, you have to get these little injuries and pick them up as you go along. Now we're just not going to rush him back. That's the main thing. Take your time, play him, intervene him slowly into the squad, and we'll get there. But yeah, strepsils needed. Yeah, I've finished about 2 packs of them already, mate. But thank you. If you like to send them over, feel free to donate some of that. I'll put in towards some of that. The other players as well in terms of that, James Justin. I mean, such a diverse player, somebody that can play. I think we really missed him when he got injured. In terms of he could play through the middle, he can play in the back three, he can play either wing back, either full back. Another 4-year contract shows, especially, and also one thing as well, for these 3 players, they're all defensive players that we know we really need the defensive cover, because this year we've been terrible from defending for the majority of the season.
Yeah, and they're all players that when everyone's fully fit, they're all starters for us. So I think that's the key thing. And out of the 3 that have signed for deals for us, I would say 3 of those 3, and then probably one more centre back that will sign in the summer, are probably our starting back 4 next year.
Yeah, makes sense. With Castagna kind of there in kind of, again, he could play in both left and right as well. Sorry, aren't you saying?
Yeah, he's an option as rotation, but as much like Castagna, I don't think he gets in over Ricardo or Justin.
No, it's a good point. One second. Well, go through some of the comments at the moment. That's a very mean comment that you've got. There's no need for that. Yuri signing out of the blue. Rob Tanner, when we've had him on the show, it's a shameless plug because we always manage to do that, has said that the offer's on the table. It's just that he's not accepted it. But also, you look recently, out of the 3 midfielders, Yuri was pulled against Burnley. Yuri didn't have the best game against Leeds either. Ndidi was pulled against. Ndidi was pulled there as well against Leeds because of he was on a yellow and looking like he was looking on a walkie ready if he got another card. But then you've got Samore that's there. You've got Keenan Dewsbury Hall, who's been amazing. That midfield position, I'm not saying I don't want to lose Yuri, but that midfield position is looking hard. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I think with Tielemans, I've almost come to the acceptance now that he's going in the summer. It's just about getting the biggest fee that we can for him, and then bringing in another centre mid, and then obviously developing Dewsbury Hall. Obviously, we've got Madison, Samare, who are lots of players that are able to sort of fill that void. Like, as much as I want to keep Tielemans, if he doesn't want to be here, then what's the point?
Yeah, we want somebody that's going to play for the club, and that's it. Good evening to Neve. Neem, how are you doing, mate? You good? Dorco's here as well. Most players feel indebted because of their treatment, their rejuvenation. That's the only reason why they sign a new contract. I don't think it's as easy as that. I genuinely don't. I think what it is, it's that the club know they're looked after, and from what we heard, the players want to be here, and you really see somebody when you're doing well, then you see what's happening. But when things are going badly, when you're through injuries and stuff like that, I think you see what the club is capable. Do you know what I mean? When things are down, that's when you're asking for. That's when you really come out and go, right, okay, this is what the club means to me.
That's it, and it's very easy to say like after you've won an FA Cup, oh, I love this club, and
Yeah.
it means everything to me. It's like when we're having a season like we are now, to then say all of this stuff that a lot of the players have been saying, and they see the ambition of the club and they see sort of where we'll be going, that's when it rings a lot more true than when it's good. When you can say that whilst the chips are down, that means a lot more.
Yeah, definitely agree there. Just having a look at some of the comments before we kind of finish up a little bit more. What's it called? Doug's in the chat. Hi, Doug. Make sure you check out Doug's channel as well. Second best French defender. He's not better than Canate. I know that's tongue in cheek, but he's not better than Canate. I think Canate had a bit of a stinker against West Ham. Well, bailed out because West Ham couldn't finish the chances.
Who's Canate? I haven't heard of him.
No worries. And then the next one. Yeah. So for the next one, we've got that's one thing as well. Yeti Boy again. Hi, Yeti Boy. You're right. We've got Braybrook and Alves coming through. I mean, we've got some again. We've had Joaquin on the channel as well, who's been updating us with some of the under 23 stuff. We've got some future talent, and I know that the club have invested a lot in the under 18s, who are one of the best in the country as well. So we've got that. So we're in a decent position, Anne.
We are, and there's like these academy players coming through, and like the harsh reality of it is not all of them will make it. That is just sort of the way that football is. But the fact that we're starting to turn into a talent sort of like that sort of breeding ground for young talent, that's going to save the club millions and millions in the future years, which it's a good thing to see. And like Will Alves is one who's getting a bit of a reputation now for being class. And like he's one, I think he's quite a long way away from the first team. But the fact
15, 16.
Yeah. But the fact we've got those players at that age already starting to build a reputation, it shows
in the 23s.
Yeah, future's in good hands.
Yeah, and you look at and you've got people in the team. Like you look at the Leeds game, and you've got Hamza Chowdhury obviously is at right back filling in, but Luke Thomas at left back. Keenan Dewsbury Hall is coming this season, absolutely smashed it. Like I understood that people were going to say positive things about him because of the loan and stuff like that, but I didn't realize how much of a baller he actually was. And the other one as well, Harvey Barnes was another person as well. So you're looking at them going, you can see that these players from Leicester that have come through the academy are coming into the first team, and it's going to give people a lot of hope. And we've got, again, as Wacky was saying, we've got actually some of a great level of. You look at Lewis Brunt, who's on the bench as well. So there are opportunities for that, and if the likes of Vestergaard aren't going to say, I'd love to give these young players a chance.
Yeah, and that's the difference between us and a lot of these other sort of clubs in the Premier League is we're so much about like giving youngsters a chance compared to a lot of these other clubs. And I think that's what we've got to build our foundations on over the next few years and for this rebuild project or whatever it's going to be labelled as. Mm-hmm. So it's about learning from the mistakes of last summer and moving on from it.
Yeah, and then getting rid of some of the dead wood, bringing some in. It's not a major rebuild. It's just some small things. And with these people signing long-term deals, it means that as well. And it is another point, Yeti Boy, you've absolutely smashed it. And thank you for bringing this up. Daniel Iverson with an unbelievable save that he put out. But I think as well, Yeti Boy, again, Daniel Iverson, with Casper's not going anywhere anytime soon, but we've got another Danish centre back in the ranks ready to go as well.
He's our future number one. I've said that for a few years now. He looked and like he's proven it at Preston at the moment. Outrageous save at the weekend. And the thing is, it's just every week you see a highlight of him pulling off a worldie. And obviously you don't get a full like gauge of a keeper until you watch him week in, week out, because you could make like a highlight reel of Schmeichel's kicking looking like prime Neuer pinging it to everyone. But the thing is, I like Preston's fan, and with all due respect, it is Preston, but their fans are absolutely raving about him, saying he's one of the best keepers they've ever had there.
Yeah.
For me, I'd like to see him get a loan either to a top Championship team next year or a lower Premier League team.
Ooh, a lower Premier League team, I don't think will happen just because of the amount of money, but a Championship team would be great. And also, go all over the place. With the way that Daniel Alves is progressing, with a goalkeeper, they do last a lot longer as well. So that could be in the pipeline. But what's impressive, as you were saying, just like the Luton fans said about Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, and they said, look, this guy's a baller. We want to keep him. We're saying the same things saying about Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, again, about Daniel Alves as well. So, yeah, I think that's it as well. It will take time, and we will get there. We've got to be patient with these people. And again, we've been quite a few people out on loan this January anyway. And we're going to see some really good talent there. Before we finish up with just a couple of points, we've got John Percy again mentioned. I think we tweeted it out for Beyond the 90 in the January transfer window. John Percy, again, one of the most reliable people in Leicester City football. 2 players that we're going to try and build. Well, 3 players we're going to try and build the squad around, which is going to be Daka in the future. Obviously, Vardy's here. Daka, Maddison, and Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. Another 2 we're going to try and add into that spine is Tarkowski, which, again, as all of you know from Ant's channel, you can see his smile. You know what we're going to talk about next. And the other one, De Ketelaere from Bruges. I mean, so they've got the transfers in place. It's kind of, we're seeing these same things that happened to Samore this time last year when he eventually came in the summer. So it looks like these 2 are gonna come, but it's good that that we're gonna have these players coming in as well. And from what we've seen, I think obviously we all know what Tarkowski is available for, but De Ketelaere looks promising as well.
Can you try and say his name again?
I've said it 3 times, mate. You can say it once.
Yeah, the young kid from Bruges does look really promising, doesn't it? Proper swerve pass and that line. But no, he does look like
you handed me and they're like, I handed you back, you kicked it in the air.
But I'll be honest, I don't know a huge amount about him, but the reputation he's got, he's building like good reputation, and there's a lot of clubs interested in him. So this is where we've got to really sort of do everything to sign these kind of players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got exactly. I thought you'd be on a bit of a longer Tarkowski rant, or maybe you just fed up a bit now. But we'll definitely get on when that eventually happens as well. Just 2 comments. Daily Campbell again is another sign. Evening, Fox to Fox, and make sure you go and check out Fox to Fox. One of our American fans got his own channel over there, Fox to Fox Report on YouTube. Lovely guys, well, I've had him on the channel. But apart from that, any other thing before we finish? Because I'm just happy, and it's been a long time since we've been happy on this channel, and because there's not been a lot there's been a lot to complain about, same in problems. So run on to Rennes, which the 2 games against Rennes will be vital in terms of what we're going to achieve in the Conference League, because they're a hell of a tough side, and the Arsenal game. I mean, this is a hard week to get through as Leicester fans. If we can get through it with 3 draws, a win and 2 draws, I think that's a major success.
It is. It's crunch time now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a moment of truth.
Yeah, that's it. Like, everyone can keep saying about the Conference League and stuff, and we're going to go and win it. Let's do it.
Yep,
let's do it.
Yep. So we'll have to see again. They won 2-0. Who was that against, Rennes? Again, I think they're 4th in the table in the French league. So thank you everybody for watching. Sorry for my cough. I've tried to get better as soon as I can. So we will be back on Thursday for the game. We might be doing some stuff tomorrow, again, depending on my voice and depending on if I'm trying to get some people in that are no French football, because I'm going to be honest, I don't really know. But thank you for watching. Make sure you go subscribe to the channel. We'll see everybody in the next video. So goodbye.